All right, here we are. Hello, everybody. Um, Tim, if Tim, you can go ahead and unmute yourself now.
Yo,
All right. All right. I need to step away from the computer for just a quick moment. I'll be right back. If you want to go ahead and talk about your book or whatever, go for it. I'll be.
all right. Let me get ready. Let me get. Let me get my. Okay, so Melvin 2 takes place after Melvin issue 1, where Alice and Melvin are heading back to the hidden city. While in transit to the hidden city, their vehicle malfunctions and they have a crash landing, where they meet an alien inventor who hires them to basically liberate the city from the cult in order for them to get the parts they need. So it's going to be an amazing book, and everyone's going to freaking love it. Yep. And I am the artwork for Melvin #3 is like 2 pages away from being finished, and that'll be the third, another installment of the story arc, and it's all going to be drawn by Sid Tellis. Teles. His last name is spelled like Teles. He's Brazilian. Um, and I'm working on other things. I'm looking into starting an Ashcan. Maybe thinking about doing like a website or something. You gotta think outside the box. You are now listening to Tim TV. All Tim, all the time. Can you stand it? And Mike's in the chat saying, "Hello, everybody. We're here in StreamYard." Yes, the streamiest yard there ever was.
Yeah, I say we're here, StreamYard. All right. So, anyways, all right. So,
They got to hear my smooth, sexy voice.
yeah,
So,
as I said, I think I give you a little promo time there to help you out a little bit there since you were
yeah.
gracious enough to join me. And as always, Tim, if anything, as I said, catches your attention as we're talking about this stuff, go ahead and comment on it or ask questions.
All
We'll
right,
go from
all
there.
right.
And hopefully we'll get some people in here soon to say hi.
Dang nabbit.
All right, so let me go ahead and share
Come
screen
on,
here.
all of you pimps and players. This is the place to be.
Okay, so tonight, of course, everybody, we're going to be going over a couple. We're going to be going over amazing. We're going to be going over some books from Centaur Publications that went on sale in June of 1939. Most notably, Amazing Mystery Funnies, Volume 2, Number 7, and Keen Detective Funnies, Volume 2, Number 8. Before we get into the actual read, though, I want to introduce everybody to a couple of characters, a couple of Golden Age heroes. The Masked Marvel and Phantom of the Fair. So, first off, so let me see. Sometimes you just okay. Let's try this again. This thing's not being nice to me, or my fingers aren't
Having
being nice.
having having difficulties there, Mike?
Um, no, it's not the computer. It's me. It's just me typing. My fingers getting twisted up and all that. Now that sometimes goes right.
Dang typos.
All right. So, anyways, Masked Marvel Centaur Publications. Now, of course, they did eventually start his own book, but so So publication history, publisher Centaur Publications. First appearance, Keen Detective Funnies #7. That's volume 2.
Malibu Comics, as in the
Centaur Publications, which is also known as Centaur Comics. So
yeah. Well, I mean, if you scroll down, at first it's and then like I guess it was published under Malibu Comics. Now, is that the same Malibu Comics that would help launch Image and had a really well known coloring system for
my
90s
I
comics?
don't know as much about Malibu. From what I do know about Malibu, from what little I do know about Malibu, I think what Malibu did is they would reprint a lot of the public domain characters. So companies like Centaur, a lot of their stuff was reprinted by Malibu. Okay, so
Probably like fixed up too because Malibu had an excellent coloring system. In fact, so good that I think it was Marvel or DC that bought them up and basically shelved them.
well, yeah, I don't know a whole lot about Malibu. Just because I've seen a number. I mean, there's another wiki site like this wiki site, this comics
Oh,
wiki.
I think I'm correct too because if you look there, it says team affiliations. The Protectors was actually advertised in Wizard magazine and in Image Comics.
Yeah. Well, you notice too there the Protectors they did it after Malibu Comics. So, um, but originally it was published by Centaur Publications. So let me just read through this. The Masked
Oh,
Marvel was and we're gonna see his first appearance tonight. Was a fictional superhero originally published by Centaur Publications. He debuted in 1939 on the well, I think it's supposed to be in the pages, not on the pages. In the pages, of Keen Detective Funnies #7. Now, technically, it was according to its actual index in indicia, it was volume 2, #7. So just to be a little more specific there. The character continued to appear as a feature in Keen Detective Funnies until the 24th issue, which I think was the last issue of that particular book, as well as his own title, which you see up here. This is from the Mass Marvel #2. Um, let's see. As well in his own title, which lasted 3 issues. When Centaur Comics went out of business, he became dormant until he was revived by Malibu Comics, where he acted as director of the government-run superhero team known as Protectors. His son, who took up his father's identity, became part of. Okay, so that aspect we don't necessarily need to know right now. We're just focusing on the golden age period here. Let's see. Abilities: skilled fighter, inventor, and user of gadgets. So he's basically a kind of a variation of Batman in a way. You there? You there, Tim?
yes, I was letting you read the
Oh,
description.
oh, oh. RJ had some. Malibu used Mass Marvel in their comic The Protectors. Yeah, what we just talked about. Marvel bought them for the coloring system alone. They canceled the books and kept the tech. Okay, well, that's an interesting thing to be had. And thank you for the like and share, RJ. Um, anyways, all right. So, anyways, let's get back to this. So, here's a little touch up on the Golden Age Masked Marvel. The original Masked Marvel was a non-powered hero whose secret identity, if any, was never revealed. He fought crime with the help of a trio of assistants known as ZL, ZR, and ZY. He operated out of a glass-domed mountaintop headquarters, a la Birdman. You remember the Birdman cartoon, Tim?
I was more familiar with Harvey Birdman, attorney at law.
Okay, yeah. Well, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, was based on the 1960s Hanna-Barbera superhero cartoon Birdman.
Yes, they had.
He would actually have a headquarters that was it was actually in a volcano, I believe, and he'd had a
Yeah,
glass dome over it that would open up.
they 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 would actually air an episode that was unaltered, and they just redubbed it.
Yeah,
Basically ripping on Hanna Barbera's cheap animation.
yeah. He had a number of gadgets and weapons, such as a little typo there on their part, an amphibious airplane, paralyzing ray gun, and a televisor, a device which let him see anywhere in the world. So now that's the only part we're going to read from him, because everything else here I think relates to stuff that came down later. So the other character we're going to be looking at tonight is going to be this one, the Phantom of the Fair, as he made his debut in Amazing Mystery Funnies. Now they're saying actually it was volume 2 number 8 in Keen Detective, and then volume 2 number 7.
Interesting
What?
because that character would appear also in the Protectors, but renamed Gravestone.
Yeah, as they said right there. Yeah. So, but Malibu was doing a lot of this stuff, from what I understand. They would be taking a lot of these public domain characters and like reprinting their stuff or using those characters.
Kind of reimagining them too.
Yeah. So, in 1992. So, let's see. The Phantom of the Fair was one of the earliest published Golden Age superheroes. He debuted in Amazing Mystery Funnies, Volume 2, number 7. So, yeah. And the other whole number 11. So, yeah, they had some weird indexing. So, actually, it was Volume 2, number 8 for Keen Detective, by the way, just so you know, for Mass Marvel there. July, that's the cover date, July of 1939. Centaur Publications, he premiered according to cover dates the same month as DC Comics Sandman and Fox Publications The Flame. And Centaur's, according to cover dates, but not necessarily on sale date. And Centaur's The Masked Marvel. He was created by Paul Gustafsson, who had previously created the Arrow for Centaur. His series replaced that of Skyrocket Steel, Bill Everett's first comics. Now, Bill Everett would go on to, of course, give us Centaur's Amazing Man, not to be confused with another Amazing Man that DC had. This isn't Will Everett we're talking. This is somebody else altogether. His abilities here, according to this in-story, his abilities included stealth, teleportation, and emotional manipulation. Feelings of fear to people close to him. Let's see, his first comic. His early adventures were set fighting threats at the 1939 New York World's Fair. During the time between the 1939 and 1940 fair seasons, he traveled in a series of stories set outside the fair. He was often shown during these quote-unquote outside stories in a simple suit with a hat brim hiding his features. So he was originally clad in an all-black hood and bodysuit with a purple cape, but soon adopted an open-faced cowl and red cape. Around the close of the 1939 fair season. The Phantom was seldom displayed with overt powers, but demonstrated the ability to tamper with people's memories and displayed incredible strength in his initial appearance. He also used secret trapdoors placed around the fair His first adventure showed an ancient book that um, indicated that the Phantom had lived in Iceland 1,000 years ago. Um, he was possibly the first comics hero with a subterranean headquarters. So interesting stuff there. And you notice they're spelling him with an F here instead of PH. It's probably so they didn't get copyright issues with Lee Falk's Phantom from that was being published in the papers and the reprints being redone
Probably.
by David McKay Publications. So the Phantom of the Fair also works because it was focused on the fair was his primary locale. It probably works as well that way too. Appeared in Amazing Mystery Comics until Volume 3, Number 8, Hole Number 24, September 1940. In this final issue, he was called Phantom Man. So his adventures were reprinted in Amazing Mystery Funnies Number 1. So yeah, so that stuff we'll get to later. But anyway, so now just as a quick reminder of his powers: stealth, teleportation, and emotional manipulation. So there you go.
A question: what happens if there's something happened outside the fair that was it was nowhere near the fair at all? Is he like, sorry, not my jurisdiction?
Well, they did mention that if you were listening there, they did mention that they did like in between the fair seasons between 1939 and 1940. He actually did travel outside of the fair and was active outside of the fair.
Oh yeah.
So Hail Xenu, Mike, and Archie. Okay. So, anyways, so now that we've got the basic information out of the way about these characters, why don't we go ahead and give everybody a sample?
Yep. Wrong button. I was gonna
Did,
say.
did I do that to you? I'm sorry if I did.
No. I think that was me. I hit the wrong button.
Okay, I was
I was
like,
gonna say I didn't get a hail from Robert. I feel left out. So hurt.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if he knows you as well though, but I hope he's sticking around though. At least as we will be getting ready, as I'll be getting ready to read the comic. So did you mute yourself? I guess.
Yes, I did.
All right. All right. So, anyways, now it's time for me to unshare that for a quick moment. And if you want to talk to everybody, why I make some
Why, hello
transition.
everyone. Hello RJ. Hello Robert. And who else? Xenu. I didn't. I didn't see him. I didn't see the guy. But still, uh, hello to all you wonderful people. Yeah. Hello Woody. What's up?
Oh, Woody came in. Hey, Woody. Hello, Tim.
I bet you his favorite character is Splinter.
Yeah. Well, Woody
Oh,
at one time, I think recently, he actually had an avatar of Woody Woodpecker, I believe. I guess he
he was a
designed.
hit with all the ladies.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm still trying to. Let's see. So first off, I'm going to start off with Keen Detect because that one's going to have more. So we're going to probably be reading like 4 or 5 stories tonight. Just
Yay!
all right. All right. I guess according to this, it was volume 2, number 7. I guess. Huh. Some sources were saying. So there he is, beginning in this issue, the Masked Marvel.
They didn't really have very long dwelling series back then, did they?
Well, some of I think this Masked Marvel, along with Phantom of the Fair and Amazing Man, were some of Centaur's bigger hero names. Um, this issue, 16 more pages. So yeah, we're gonna have 69 pages all together here. Yeah, let me. Okay. All right, that should be fine. Uncle Joe says. All right, here we go. Super Sleuth, the Masked Marvel. Let's see. Under the leadership of the Masked Marvel, a trio of former G-men have banded together to break up criminal gangs in large cities and bring to justice crooks and desperados of all kinds. Sworn to secrecy, the identity of each man is unknown to the others. The masked Marvel wears a red mask, and each of the other three have green masks, of course, by Ben Thompson here. So the three former law enforcement officers are known to each other only as ZR, one in the upper left, right there with the blue suit, ZY, the one with the orange suit, and ZL, the one in the green suit with kind of the faded beard underneath his chin with a cigarette there. Gifted with superhuman strength and mind reading, the masked Marvel has become the terror of the lawless gang
Did
throughout
you forget to
the
share a screen?
huh?
Are you supposed to share a screen so we can see what you're
Oh,
reading?
oh yeah. I'm
Or
sorry. I didn't even realize I hadn't. Thank you for mentioning. Normally,
no problem.
I just got so into it right away that I forgot to do that. Yeah, thank you for letting me know that I hadn't done that yet.
Now we know what these
Uh,
G-men look like.
huh?
I said now we know what these G-men look like.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyways, let's get back to that then. All right, so here we go. In their mountain headquarters, perched high on the top of a rocky crag in one of the southwest states, the men await the arrival of the masked Marvel. Hmm. The chief should be here any minute now. Think I hear his plane coming, ZR. The masked Marvel's big amphibian big amphibian circles the mountain peak on which he has built the in glassed in living quarters that serves as his base of operations. So look at that right there, huh, Tim? See the plane right there?
Yeah, yeah. So that's the yeah. Okay, so his vehicle of choice is one of those planes that can land on water.
It's a hydroplane. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a hydroplane. ZL rushes to a switchboard and pulls a lever, and huge steel doors in the side of the mountain roll open. Doesn't that remind you of some older cartoons?
Kind of reminds me of the kind of the cheesiness of like the '60s Batman without all the comedy. You know, just kind of like a no way BS kind of.
Yeah. Right. The masked Marvel heads his plane directly into the opening in the face of the mountain. Deep inside the rocky peak, a gigantic power plant is starting. Um, there's um, I think it's, is that. Hold on, I gotta
So they
go.
have to basically operate Aren't they like also like actual G-men or something? Or are they just
Yeah. Well, they're former G-men, from what I understand, or
former?
former
Oh,
law enforcement.
former. Okay, yeah, that would be
That's
the key
ZR.
word.
ZR there. ZR is the one in blue. ZY is in the brown, orange, and then The L's the one in green, and then Mass Marvel's the one in red. So, anyways, um, and large fans start whirling, throwing a blast of air towards the open doors. This actually reminds me somewhat of some of the stuff you'd see on the Superman Fleischer cartoons too. You know,
Yeah.
of course, this
Can
was
you
from
imagine this being?
around that same. This was from a few years earlier, but
Can you imagine this being read as like a radio program and like on like a radio or something? Like somebody would be reading those descriptive words.
mm-hmm. That's kind of what we're doing here. Against the terrific rush of wind, the masked Marvel lands the plane with safety. Out of the plane with one jump, he leaps to the top of the stairs. Oh, look at that. To greet his
Looks
men.
kind of stiff.
Well, that may have just been the artwork back then.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if they actually had different styles of drawing, but that looks pretty stiff.
Come in my office, fellows. I think it's supposed to be fellows, but Elos. Uh, come in my office. The letterer kind of screwed up there, didn't he? Come in my office, Elos. I think that's supposed to be fellows. We've got a big job coming up that I want to tell you about. Okay, Chief. We're with you, no matter what it is. Look at that loyalty. Look at that loyalty.
Should they be saying that before they know what it is? Like, what if it's something gross? They go like, oh, whoa. We said no matter what it is, but we didn't expect that.
Well, that just shows you how loyal they are. I've just learned that a gang of international crooks have the plans for an invention which they have stolen that would enable any nation possessing them to conquer the world. They intend to sell these plans to an unscrupulous power, and we must stop them.
It's pretty
Wow, look at all
vague.
the
Like,
hyperbole in that.
that's pretty vague. Okay, what is it what kind of invention is it that will helps them take over the world?
Yeah, you make a point there about the vagueness of it, but look at the hyperbole and all that. He's dancing around it with a whole bunch of hyperbole. It's like,
Trust me, it's bad, really bad. It's
yeah.
so bad, it's evil.
Anyways, this invention is a powerful electric ray. Oh wait. You just. All right. Well, okay. Sometimes these are a little bit hard to. Oh, okay. So I was right. I was right, anyways. Okay. Invention is a powerful electric ray through which no object can pass without special equipment. That counteracts the action of the ray. A warring nation could surround its country with these rays and render itself invulnerable to any attack, but would be able to launch its planes and armies against the enemy. Only one person has known the secret of this ray, the inventor, and he was murdered. Da 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 da.
Does the inventor have a name?
Well, I guess we'll find out the way with the way we're writing this. We're probably maybe we'll come upon it. Maybe we won't. Maybe they just felt like the name wasn't as important as since he was murdered. Not like he's going to be saying anything.
It almost kind of sounds like that Crimson Ghost serial that they used to show. You ever seen that?
No, I haven't.
The Crimson Ghost was like a master criminal, and he steals the cyclotrode, and it's supposed to be able to shoot a magnet or something and like direct like missiles anywhere he wants to aim it at.
Hmm.
It's some fancy device like that.
Okay, so we have Robert. Okay, so we have Robert saying, "Hail Woody and hail Goodfellow Tim and well met." So I guess he was responding to what you were saying earlier. um,
Oh,
I see,
that's funny.
and then Action Toy. Hey, toys! Haven't seen you in a while. Glad to see you're here, my friend. On Laundry Day, Kingpin's chant.
Klingons.
Uh, on Laundry Day, Klingons chant, "It's a good day to dry." Okay. Uh, all right. Got some good stuff going here.
Of
And if you
course,
guys haven't
James
already, you guys
Bond.
can, of course, like and share the
I
stream.
would say something.
Go ahead.
James Bond always procrastinates on it drying his clothes because he always says it's dry another day.
Ah. Okay. And if you guys haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here. That'd be appreciated. I hope everybody's enjoying the content. And if anything strikes if anything gets your attention, guys, or you have any questions, go ahead and comment or ask. And if I can, I'll do my best to answer the questions. So let me just get a quick peek here. Okay. So we now know the. Okay. They have already negotiated with a foreign power to sell the plans and are awaiting the arrival of a submarine that may reach the island any moment. Unless we get the plans first, the world is doomed. I will go at once to the FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C. for further information. All right. The mass marvel and his plane are catapulted from the mountain. Catapulted. Okay, very interesting way to. Followed immediately by ZR, ZY, and ZL, who are to proceed to an eastern airport to wait for instructions. Okay.
So we still don't know the name of the inventor. He doesn't even explain that in that page.
Yeah, and my guess is they probably. This is my guess. I don't think they're going to explain. They're going to name it because since he's already been murdered, you know.
I guess if he's dead, it doesn't matter. I guess.
Yeah, exactly. He's dead, so it probably
F
doesn't
that
matter.
guy.
Doesn't matter to the plot. So, you know. Well, anyways, continuing on here. In the office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, there's a map of the area in which the island is located. The mass marvel learns that the plans for the invention were to be announced and a copy given to a representative of each nation at a meeting to have been held at Geneva, Switzerland next month. Until that time only, the inventor was to know the plans. The War Department knew of the plans, but had not seen them. This was to have been the end of all wars. With this ray, every country could protect itself from invasion. The plans for the equipment that would penetrate the ray were to be destroyed. Okay, so that's kind of an interesting. So why would you make such an invention? You make this ray that's a great defensive weapon, and then make plans for a way to disable it. Why?
I don't know. I don't. I just. It's like they kind of came up with this like thin plot, and they go, okay, we'll make a comic book out of this. These dumb kids will buy it. The end.
Well, apparently this was because this guy lasted for I think a couple of years at least from the looks of it.
Obviously, the
About
craft.
17
Obviously, no
issues
one took the craft very seriously.
Well, maybe But then again, you also have to remember this was still kind of the infancy of comics too. Comics were still pretty early on here. I don't think they really hit their stride until the 40s.
That's true.
I mean, all attempts to catch the crooks have failed, as they have succeeded in putting the ray equipment in operation and are completely fortified. I have reason to believe you can succeed where we have failed. ZR, in a small New England fisherman's cottage, receives instructions on the telopticon. Telopticon. Very interesting word there. Kind of a fancy way of saying television screen.
Robert had an interesting comment. He said, "Interesting. This was a pre-American geopolitical dominance during the last gasp of isolationism, because America was pretty much like let's mind your own business kind of thing."
Yeah, basically, it took a lot of coaching. I think it wasn't until like Pearl Harbor happened that we finally got into the war, because this was also around the time that World War II was actually starting, and I know that like Rick and I were even talking a little bit about that Canada was even in World War II before America was, but it wasn't. But basically, yeah, as Robert points out here, this was probably the last gasp of isolationism until till America got into the war. So yeah. So, anyways, all right. You men are to proceed at once to the. Oh wait, actually, wait, this is off of a teleprompter, so or telopticon. You men are to proceed at once to the island by boat and try to get ashore. Make no attempt to fly, as the rays travel at an altitude of 50,000 feet. So I guess they're gonna try to go under the rays. I guess can't go over something, can't go through it. You might as well try going under, right? Right there, Tim.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Let's see. These men are demigods of evil and clever. Use caution in your movements. We must not be discovered. I am returning to Crown Peak to fit the plane for stratosphere flying. Move quickly. We must strike now. So I guess that's what they call their headquarters was.
Well, it's funny because we haven't even seen who the villains are. It's like, how long does it take to get to the villains? Like, who are the villains? Who are the people that took this weapon?
I know that aspect of the writing. You're not the first. I don't know if you watched some of the recent episodes we've done, Tim, but you're not the first person who's kind of questioned that type of story writing for this time. Rick had some of the same kind of questions for some stories that we've covered before as well.
Yo, what up, Rick? What up? What up, G?
What is Rick here? Or did you just
In the chat. In the chat.
Hey, Rick. All right, let's see some more. Hey, y'all. And then, so it was reasonable on American sci-fi, right? Or an American sci-fi writer would imagine a magic ray that would ultimately end war without the necessity of American involvement.
Yeah. You noticed like World War II actually gave superheroes an actual villain to fight, though, for the first time ever.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, though, is that it was really only your more popular heroes that actually had really um, in depth, like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman,
Captain America, pretty much.
Captain America. You know, they're the ones who actually had like the more developed rogues galleries. You know, where you had numerous different rogues that they would face. Some of the second and third tier may have at best had like 3 or 4 regular rogues out. Grant the Flash had a few. Like, so if Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman had something like had 15 to 20 regular rogues that they were going back and forth between at this time. Guys like the Flash, Green Lantern, they would have like maybe at best 10, 7 to 10, and then some of the guys who were lesser known than them, like Dr. Midnight and Dr. Fate and all that, they'd have maybe 3 or 4. So
Oh, it seems like this writer has no idea how it can come about it. It's like, oh, any moment now the villain will show up. Any moment. Several pages
well,
later.
again, this is Ben Thompson who wrote this, so um, I don't know much about his work, but anyway, when you get on the island, stay under cover until I arrive. You will find the house that the gang occupies to be heavily armed. Study it from the outside and try and locate the room where the plans are kept. So at least he's sending his assistants out to like do like the basic surveillance.
Canadian Shield.
What was that?
Oh, Robert says, "Hey, Canadian Shield."
Well, yeah, I know that he was yeah, because he actually got I think he got a copy of Rick's comic there. So anyways, as we continue on here, let's see. Down to the next. So in the masked Marvel's laboratory. All right, these rays are invisible, but this infravac helmet, that's very interesting, will enable me to see them. Meanwhile, 3 men in a fast speedboat approach a group of barren islands off the Atlantic coast. Better swing over into the cove, ZL, until it gets dark. This is 10 pages, by the way. So I just to let you know.
Story's only 10 pages. How many pages have we gone through?
I think like probably like 2 or 3 already. I think this might be the 4th. But remember, this is an anthology. These are like usually like 69 pages for the whole book, but this story is going to be 10 pages, and then the other one we're going to read from this book, Dean Denton's Scientific Detective, is going to be 8 pages, and then the Phantom of the Fair one is going to be 8 pages, and 6 for Air Sub DX, and then we might also hit another little featurette story called 2039 AD in the other book. So just to kind of give you a heads up. So anyways, okay. According to this marine map, their hideout should be on the island over there. In another hour, it'll be dark enough to move. If we can get on the island, there must be an opening somewhere that will let us through the rays. Look, what's that out there in the water? It's the foreign submarine. Let's get out of sight behind those rocks. They'll probably contact the island tonight, and if we watch our chance, maybe we can get in at the same time. I think they forgot a word there. I think they watch for our chance.
It's a foreign submarine from where? It's that foreign submarine from that country we're not going to mention.
Yeah. Wait. As silently and suddenly as it had appeared, the submarine sank beneath the water. Of course it did.
Probably went back to that country they didn't mention at all.
It's dark. It's dark enough now to move. Let's get started. Not a sign of that submarine. Maybe they aren't expected so soon and may stay under tonight. In that case, we'll have more time. Look out! It's coming up right under us. The masked Marvel's men are hurtled into the water as their boat is tossed into the air. Could it be that maybe the bad guys knew they were there? Da 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 da.
Whoever they are.
Yeah. Come on. The island's over here. Let's swim for shore. ZY and ZL reach the island on which the crooks are hiding. The ZR isn't here. We'll have to go on without him and try to follow the submarine party in. ZR lands on the rocky shore half a mile away, where a pair of cruel eyes watch him through the dark shadows. Look at that. Cruel eyes from a country we still don't know about, right there, Tim?
Exactly. And the most generic looking villain I've ever seen. Watch out, it's the guy with the hat.
Yeah, well, if he's from a foreign country, if we go by what we know, okay, so some people might argue he's obviously from a European nation.
Right. From an invention that shoots out rays from some guy who invented it. It's like they're trying to skirt around the issue of like the war.
Oh, that probably goes back towards Robert's comment earlier about the whole idea of the last gasp of American dominance.
And look, if you notice that Robert says everyone wears a fedora on a submarine. Of course,
yeah, I saw that.
Makes so much sense.
And we got Hello, Lemon Pie. I'm glad you decided to check us out. Hope you'll stick around a while. Hey, Robert. Let's see. All right. So, we got caught up on the chat there. So, let's get back to the story. All right. So, at 900 miles per hour, the masked Marvel's plane roars into the stratosphere. 30,000 feet. I'll have to get the ice off of those wings. De-icing equipment frees the plane, while the temperature outside the heated cabin drops to 90 degrees below zero. Wow. He must have heated up that plane, didn't he? I'm up nearly 35,000 feet now. Better swallow one of these oxygen tablets to keep breathing in this rarefied atmosphere. So that's number 4. Right?
Is that actual technology or is that BS technology?
I don't know. Maybe back then they thought it was real technology. Maybe by today's standards, it might be considered BS technology.
So, somebody Google that and find out they actually had oxygen pills.
Oh, somebody actually did find out they did.
No, I'd like to know if that's a real thing or if that's some BS.
Well, okay, the idea of oxygen pills has been around. I mean, it's been used through a lot of sci-fi related type stories. Um, so, but as to whether or not it actually translates to the real world, I couldn't tell you. But anyways, higher and higher, the big amphibian climbs to an altitude greater than man has ever reached before. The ship is traveling at terrific speed, made possible only by the secret inventions with which it is equipped. Inventions that are known only to the masked marvel. Okay. There's New York, a great city nearly 8 miles below. They may soon be destroyed if we are unsuccessful in recovering those plans.
So, Robert, are you saying that oxygen pills is BS?
Robert had some island and pie from no oxygen pills. It's hand wave 'em technology. All right. And if you guys haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, I do appreciate all the likes and shares. That really helps out. See if we can get some more friendly people in here.
He could be like Batman and just like insert the word Marvel in anything. He's driving his Marvel plane and he has his Marvel oxygen pills, and he sits in his
Well, he's
Marvel
not
chair.
doing that, but anyways, with this infravac helmet, I will soon be able to see the glow of the rays. So infravac. Anyways, we infravac. But yeah, at least he's not personalizing a lot of his gear by calling it Marvel this and Marvel that. Calling stuff like infravac and all that. And Telopticon. Right, so there they are, and it looks like they're higher than 50,000 feet. I'll try and reach ZR on his radio. That's funny. No answer. They should be trying to pick me up now. Unable to contact his men, the masked marvel, through his psychic power, learns of their misfortune and also is aware that a small boat from the submarine is nearing the island. Putting his plane into a steep climb, he determines to try and rise above the wall of rays. Look at that. Look at that right.
So wait, so now he has psychic abilities now.
Well, they kind of mentioned that earlier. If you remember when I was reading the intro, when I was reading his little bio, they kind of mentioned that, and even at the very beginning here, they mentioned that.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. I totally forgot about that part. In the case of Alzheimer's.
Yeah. I'm 55,000 feet in the air. This is the highest that any man has ever flown, and still these rays continue. The rays are so thin now that I can see them, even with the infrared helmet. Looks like I can get over So here goes. The plane crashes against the rays with such force that even the masked marvel is stunned, and the big ship falls through the stratosphere out of control.
Quick, use your insurance pill.
On the island, ZY and ZL hear the sound of a launch that they believe carries the landing party to shore. There's the submarine party. But it's going back. That means someone has landed. A light and 3 men. We can follow them through the rays. ZR, alone on the beach, steps quickly into the bushes when he spots an approaching figure. Without warning, a pair of strong hands grab ZR by the throat.
Oh, and boy. Put lipstick around his mouth.
Yeah, or that could be blood. He could have.
They're forcing him to be trans.
Huh?
They're forcing that poor guy to be trans. It's so tragic.
I think the boss will want to see you. He is overpowered by the man on the beach. Joins the attacker. He is overpowered when the man on the beach joins the attacker. Step along there, you in the pretty green mask, and remember my trigger finger is nervous. Look, Commander, the visitor. Suppose you tell us who you are? So you don't want to talk. Call Squint Eye. He has some nice tricks he learned from the riffs that will loosen your tongue. Well, at least we got a better idea, at least what the bad guys look like. I don't know. Some of the features here, I think you almost get the impression that they might be German.
They look very
or Eastern European.
They look kind of generic looking. Like you got a fat guy in a suit, and you got your average kind of generic looking henchman.
Yeah. Okay. So Robert's saying yes. The story just seems to be 1940s wish fulfillment sci-fi.
Yeah. You got.
I wish World War II away. I have a magic ray for that. I wish I could fly 8 miles up. We have magic pills for that.
Yeah, you just get high.
Doesn't that sound a little familiar? Doesn't that sound a little familiar with what's going on right in today's world?
You just blaze one up, and then you magically can go 8 miles high.
Don't leave me high. Don't leave me dry. Don't leave me high.
There's something about that lyric that seems kind of gross.
Huh? What was that?
I said something about that lyric seems kind of gross. Don't leave me high. Don't leave me dry. Yeah.
All right. Careful now. We don't want to be discovered. ZY and ZL have trailed the men to the gang's headquarters. There, in that room, it's ZR, bound to a chair. This looks like a back entrance. We'll try it. When ZY touches the doorknob, a trap door opens and both drop into a dungeon. Oh, isn't that a classic trap from that time period?
Dun dun dun.
The old trap door at the entrance bit, right?
Comes standard with most villain lairs.
Mm-hmm. The alarm, more company. You'll never get away with this. Oh, I'm sorry. You'll never get away with this. Get in that room with your friend. I'm sure. Let's see. I'm sure you'll enjoy meeting Squint Eye here. And when he gets through playing with you, we're going to give you a submarine ride on the outside. Oh boy. Tim, do you see who Squint Eye is?
Squint Eye.
Do you see who Squint Eye is right there?
I'm gonna have to can you focus on Squint? Is that the guy who's
Oh,
listening to the alarm, or is it?
no. Well, here, I'll enlarge it a bit here. Now, in this panel on the far right here, you see who?
Oh no! Wow.
Right.
Enter the stereotype.
Exactly. He, he, he.
Oh no! Watch out! He's got a Chinese buffet ready to go. Oh wait! That's Chinese. Wait, watch out! He'll sell you pornographic action cartoons.
Anyway. Yeah,
Oh, the
but
submarine might be
the thing
Japanese.
is,
Yeah.
when I saw that, I realized, okay, if an SJW comes in here, they're gonna be screaming foul.
Well, tell chill out. It's a comic book from 1939. What do you want?
Oh, you and I know that, but an
Yeah.
SJW wouldn't, right?
Yeah. Well, they can cram it with walnuts.
We know what they can do, right?
They can. Yeah. Yeah. They can go be left high and dry if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Uh, let's see now. Oh, Robert had another. Submarine might be Japanese.
Yep. Way towards the end of the story, they answered our question.
Anyways, back up in the stratosphere, a masked Marvel has regained control of his plane, which was damaged badly by the crash against the rays. He has climbed out of the plane to straighten bent metal parts on the tail assembly. Unless I get this rudder fixed, I can't get over the rays. With his great strength, the masked Marvel repairs the crippled plane. The raise higher than the inventor anticipated. This time, I'll go beyond 90,000 feet. All right. On to the next page here. Yeah, so, hope everybody's enjoying the story at least, even if it does sound kind of, funny.
Flimsy and ludicrous.
Yeah, but I guess that's writing from back then.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure is.
Again, this was the infancy of comics, so I mean, you know, they hadn't been at it for that long yet, so over time maybe stuff got better. In terror, the gang rush to an underground passage. With one blow, the masked Marvel Wait, what? Let's say what? Hold on.
Phil Squint Eyes.
Oh, I see. I think okay. I skipped the page here. Okay. Again and again, the plane
Not back for
tried.
1939.
Huh?
Oh, I was replying to Robert. He said art is not bad, and I said not bad for 1939.
Yeah. Okay. Again and again, the plane tries to reach the top of the rays, struggling through the rarefied atmosphere. Finally, finally, at more than 90,000 feet, it is over. Dropping to 10,000 feet, the mass marvel quickly slips into a parachute. Adjusting the plane's controls for stationary flight, he leaps into the sky. A mass marvel lands quietly near the gang's plane. He quickly inspects the plane and hurries towards the house. The red shadow, the mass marvel is here. Oh, release my men at once and give me those plans.
Wayne, did they ever introduce the Red Shadow, or that just kind of like?
I think the red shadow may be a nickname that the bad guys are giving the mass marvel.
Oh wait, no, it looks like they're addressing the Red Shadow and saying the Masked Marvel is here.
Well, remember the mass. If you look, the mass marvel is dressed in red.
Right, but the shadow that's giving them the orders is also red.
Yeah. The red shadow, the mass marvel is here. In terror, the gang rushed to an underground passage. With one blow, the masked marvel fells Squint Eye and releases his men.
Oh no, not Squint Eyes.
Oh.
He was my favorite stereotype of all time.
A hand grenade is thrown at the masked marvel. Although the bomb explodes in his face, he is uninjured. The building catches fire immediately. Okay, there's some more ludicrosity right there.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, was he in? He has like super. He's in. He's is it invulnerable to like explosions or vulnerable? Either way, explosions don't seem to hurt him.
Yeah. VR, the plans are in there. Get them and follow us. As he sends his man in there into the gases to get the plans.
Go into danger and do all the work that I don't want to do.
Talk about loyalty. Huh? Remember how we were talking about loyalty earlier?
Yeah.
That's loyalty for you.
Right? Put yourself in danger for me. Thank you.
ZY and ZL dash to the landing field after the masked marvel, who is bringing the plane to Earth by thought transmission to the delicate apparatus he has built into the ship. So basically, he's like pulling a Wonder Woman right there.
You mean he had time? He had time to do that?
But you notice he's pulling a Wonder Woman here before Wonder Woman was even created. Because remember, I think it was in the Silver Age version of her, anyways. She had telepathic control of their invisible jet. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
All right, so we're getting close to the end of this. It looks like very quick here. ZR, with the burned plans, races to the waiting plane just as the gang come out of the flaming building. Right. Stop them! Shoot them down! Wait! Wait! They'll crash against the rays. Not knowing that the mass marvel has removed the equipment that will penetrate the rays and has put it on his plane, they start in pursuit when he fails to crash. The ship and its evil crew plunge into the rays and are destroyed. Let's see. Men, we have the plans, but they're worthless. The vital parts are burned too badly to be of value, and the inventor's equipment is lost in the fire. But at least we've prevented them from being used against humanity. So look at that. Again, what a lot of people were saying, anti-war wish fulfillment, and look how they end it right there. Hey Tim.
Yeah, and it's just, well, I mean, it's like it was so. It's like they didn't really know what they were doing, and I mean, who is that red? Was the Red Shadow or something?
That may have just been Mass Marvel. That may have just been like another nickname.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused about that. So I mean, it's like the story is kind of just flimsy and stupid.
But then again, comics were in their infancy there then.
Yeah, well, that is true. I mean, like they didn't really come out and exactly say it, but the submarine was Japanese. Squint Eyes, just you knew literally nothing about him. He was just Squint Eyes. Sounded
Well,
like a really lame
aside
version
from
of Snake
his
Eyes.
features would indicate he was Asian.
Yeah, but you didn't know anything else about him.
Yeah. Anyways,
Okay, yeah, Robert.
Flash, boys and girls. Do you want one of the Mass Marvel's red mask? This is a lot. They did this a lot in these comics too. As I've mentioned before on previous episodes, the comics back in the Golden Age comics were akin to what we know today as like highlights.
Yeah.
Except with in this case though, with more comics. Highlights magazine for kids, which had a little bit of everything. You had comic stories, you had magazine stories, you'd have like little featurettes and all that. Well, comic books back in this time were more or less akin to those, just with more of a comic emphasis.
I'm just imagining like them going, okay, it was invented by a guy, but don't worry about that, you stupid idiot.
Well, again, they just, as you probably pointed out earlier, Tim, they probably just didn't feel that was pertinent to that was actually pertinent to the actual story.
Yeah. I can see why some of these comic books are forgotten, though. Like, they didn't really stand the test of time, really.
So, Robert was saying here, this is sci-fi, just magical thinking. Hand grenades don't harm me. I'm a hero. Okay. Yeah. Red Shadow is Mass Marvel.
Yeah, that's what you were saying.
Yeah. Cross Comics saying here, most of these stories are not high quality, but that was the time. Yeah. And as I said, Tim, as I told you earlier, Rick was pointing out some of the same issues or some of the other stories that we've read. Submarine was probably German and Japanese collaboration. It's probably true.
Yeah, well, Squint Eyes was definitely a dead giveaway, even though, like I said, there was nothing. There's no story about Squint Eyes. He was just there to get knocked out by the masked Marvel.
All right, so we're already past the hour mark. We're at hour 15, I believe now. So Anyway, Uncle Joe wants to know how you like the masked Marvel, so write him and enclose a stamped self-addressed envelope, and for each letter about the masked Marvel, a red mask will be sent free in your own stamped envelope. Address, um, your letter, care of um,
Centaur.
Centaur Publications Incorporated, 220 Fifth Avenue, New York City. More of the Masked Marvel's adventures next month.
I bet you that if somebody wrote that now, that letter would be returned. But I dare anybody to write that just to see what would happen.
All right, so let's go through Gabby Flynn. Now I'm just now until we the other story we're gonna read here is Dean Denton, but he's more towards the end of the book. So we'll kind of you see the like red and white coloring here on this one. Again, we don't
Oh,
try to read
wow, that actually looks kind of nice.
Dan Dix, Ship Detective, black and white with the first page being the Kiefer Snatch, Guns Blazed in the Night, and Graham
I ain't
Winning
even
Day.
gonna touch what that sounds like.
So the Cat Had Nine Lives is a tech story here. TNT Todd, Ace G-Man. Another one with the red and white opening with the two-way ride. All right, Dan Dennis, FBI by Gilman.
Oh,
Spy Hunter.
I agree with Robert that it actually is pretty interesting, but it's also kind of funny in a way because it just shows how comic books were not perfected yet.
All right, so let's see. They want to see if the character would last before fleshing out the background of the character. Which again, which does make a bit of sense there if you think about it, Tim, because you know if the character is not going to succeed, why flesh him out? Why flesh him out that early unless he lasts?
Yeah, I
I
suppose
enjoyed the story.
I
Oh,
suppose to a modern audience to be like, okay, who is that character and why do I care about that character?
yeah, and you have to remember too, we're going back in time to look at it. So when judging this, you have to take into account we're coming at it from people who are like well in the future from when this was written. You know, so we have a unique perspective. We're going back in time, even though, of course, I'm trying to present it in a way to as if we're reading it as if it's happening. Okay, but it also tells you the nature of people at that time too, with how they were writing this too. So, anyways, Robert was saying here, I enjoyed the story. Shows pre Pearl Harbor America in popular culture. It's unintentionally educational, and that's true, Robert. That's I and that part I like too. That's one of the other reasons why I do this is for that aspect. Heck, most movies just as low. So most movies back then were just as low quality. What Rick was saying here, compared to today. So, anyways, Spy Hunters. Here we go. Dean Denton, scientific detective, the hidden valley of Montezuma. The other stories in this book I was going to read. By Harry Francis Campbell. And I'm going to try to go. This one's 8 pages, so hopefully we'll get through this a little quicker here. Dean has just flown back to Hollywood from Solon Cay, an island in the Gulf of Mexico. He has rescued Carol, his pretty assistant, on location with Colossal Studios movie crew on Solon Kai. From his enemy, unscrupulous Bolton Gate. I'm gonna increase the font here a little bit. Just make it a little easier for me to read here. Unscrupulous Bolton Gates, alias the Conqueror. Gates and his red-robed henchmen sought to steal fabulous hidden Indian treasure. Dean foiled the Conqueror and left him a prisoner of Tacan, last chief of the Aztecs. In the executive offices of Colossal Pictures. So I bailed out, landed on top of the pyramid, and yanked the false whiskers off Gates. What a story. It's super colossal, and me, Al Stern, I will supervise it personal. Oi! For such a terrific story, I even forgot it that you dunked my new $80,000 plane in the ocean. This Indian chief Tacan will be the villain. What? And I suppose I'm to go back and get him for you. Oh boy. Sure. And Carol here now can play the lead. And here we go.
So basically, this guy works at a movie studio.
Yeah. Well, at least that's his current client. Because it said he's a scientific detective. I could kiss you for that. Hey, don't forget, Carol's got a job as my assistant. Gates himself, even for the real heavy, well, I get, oi, what a super. If I ever get Gates back here, there's a little matter of a murder rap here for him. Tomorrow already, back you fly to get this Chief Tacan. Okay, there's always something. And I'll go along personal to try out my swell new plane. You? Oh, all right, but Carol stays home this time. That's flat. And he has her stay home, try to protect her, of course, from danger. Right there, Tim?
Right, yes.
The next day, shortly before the takeoff, Al Stern proudly shows Dean his new private plane. Positive. It's the latest thing, complete even to an electric refrigerator.
Interesting.
You can have your flying boudoir, Al. I'll take the YA-19 and a thermos bottle. Beside, having two planes is a good idea. Just before the takeoff, Stern, as a joke, loads Dean's planes with 24 thermo. Oh, God. Okay, that guy's got an interesting sense of humor, doesn't he? There.
Yes, I believe so.
So it's thermos bottles he wants, huh? Um, all right. So it's thermos bottles he wants, huh? We'll give them to him. Load them into the luggage space and back. Carol's feelings must be hurt. She hasn't come down to say goodbye. The hour for the takeoff arrives. They head for Chief Takan's island realm. Have your pilot follow me, Al. Positive, Dean. Already, already, I begin to feel almost like Lindbergh, Charles Lindbergh. Who
Yeah. Now, when did the
huh?
I'm just no, never mind. Just this is kind of like almost like what was that one pulp hero that was based on Indiana Jones, or Indiana Jones was based on?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I know you're because we did probably talk something about it.
Was it like Samson or something like that?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, this seems to be kinda. It's kind of giving me those vibes where they're going off to some far exotic place and recovering some kind of like artifact or something.
The two planes speed eastward and then south out over the Gulf of Mexico. As Dean nears the island in the Mexican Gulf, now this looks more like a thought bubble, so that's why I'm going to do it like this. I wonder what happened to Carol. Oh boy! Look behind it. You see what's behind
Yeah, he
him?
doesn't even notice the the dumb broad stowed away on the ship.
Yeah. You? Why, you persistent little devil! Don't be peeved, Dean. It was so hot and stuffy in that luggage compartment, especially with all those thermos bottles of Al's bouncing all around. Oh boy. Mischievous little girl, isn't she?
Yeah, it seems to be more of a pain in his butt.
Dean and Al Stern's pilot spiraled down to a landing on the little island, which at first seemed to be deserted. Welcome, O Denton, great maker of magic. Greetings, where's Chief Takan? Evil man Gates and his men get loose. Make Indians crazy drink. Tie up Chief Takan and carry off to mainland in boat to get Aztec treasure. Me, Chico, escape. Like my rendition of the guy's voice there. Yep.
Somebody muted me.
Somebody yeeted you?
Muted.
Oh.
I might have hit the mute button by accident.
Did you like my impression of the native there?
Yes, me too.
Chico, we want to go to Takan. Can you guide us? See, yes, I guide you. To Sacred Treasure Valley we go in Tin Bird, yes? Chico, go with Denton and Squaw in Tin Bird that roars. You follow long. What a picture. Okay, Cisco. Once more, the two planes roar out over the blue waters of the Mexican Gulf. Look, Denton. Ahead is Magic Mountain. Not the amusement park, mind you. Let's make sure everybody knows that.
Where have I seen this before?
Entirely surrounded by impregnable cliffs. Well, I think we saw it earlier in the story we did earlier. Entirely surrounded by impregnable cliffs lies the valley where Gates, alias the Conqueror, holds Chief Takan a prisoner. There, Sacred Valley. Me show tunnel on other side of mountain. We'll go. We'll grab plenty of altitude and glide in quietly. They'll think we have flown on. So turning off the engines, basically, they land on the other side of the mountain. Secret tunnel to valley over there. Dean's keen eyes spot one of Gates' henchmen. Drop that gun. Denton, you just ain't human. Now to find Tekan. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Huh? Did I just? Okay, I think I kind of goofed there. All right. So Dean fastens his prisoner securely and lays. When you birds get wise and quit this conqueror game. You're playing with Gates. After we get you, Denton. His plans as night falls over the jungle. Everyone's got his job, Chico, and I will go through the tunnel. Stern guards our prisoner, and his pilot watches the end of the tunnel. Let's go.
And of course, he's got it all figured out, naturally.
Now to find Takan. Mm-hmm. Well, he's a scientific detective. You remember seeing that at the beginning? They call him a scientific detective.
Right. I was just thinking he'd be detecting things that are scientific.
Yeah. A lucky break at the other end of the tunnel. Big feast. Everyone much drunk. Me find Takan quick. Boy, what a break. Cautiously, they creep into the Indian village. There's Takan and that devil Gates. Right? Now everything good. Denton man of magic, help us now. Me cut Tekan loose. This is your last chance, Tekan. I mean to have Montezuma's treasure or else. Okay. All right. I should have probably gone with this one first, but oh well.
The positioning of the panels is kind of confusing.
And this story they don't have them numbered like they did in the other one. So
I suppose when they say scientific detective, it kind of means that he didn't really do anything scientific at all. That was just a title.
well, maybe, but we'll wait and see. Leaving Gates bound and gagged, Dean, Carroll, and Kakan hurry back through the tunnel. Stern, what are you doing here? Where's our prisoner? The old sissy got scared of the dark, Dean. I'm sorry. The old sissy got scared of the dark, Dean. I, I positively did not. Meanwhile, the prisoner has slipped his bonds. Now let's see them fly away. Drop that rock and reach. A smashed carburetor and ripped ignition take 12 hours to fix. A swell guard you turned out to be, Al Stern. Gates' men and his Indian stooges will be over their jag by daylight. Jag, I guess, meaning a drunken stupor, I guess. If the tunnel's their only exit, we can hold them off as long as our ammunition holds out. Tunnel only way out, Denton. You notice the natives are calling him Man of Magic.
Yeah.
Getting towards the scientific detective. But if we only had dynamite, I'd blast that tunnel shut forever. Say, Al, I've got an idea. Those thermos bottles in the refrigerator in your flying palace are going to save our neck. Oh, I think we're gonna get the scientific part of that scientific detective coming, my friend.
Oh, okay.
Thermos bottles and a refrigerator.
What's in the bottles? I kind of forgot.
Unless it's some kind of like homemade bomb he's trying to make or something like that.
Probably.
In brackets here, with simple alterations, with editor's note. With simple alterations, any electric refrigerator can be used to manufacture liquid air. Liquid air, okay. So maybe that's the scientific part of the scientific detective right there.
I had no idea. Huh.
Oi, Dean. Oi, Dean. You bust up complete my fine new electric refrigerator. Shut up and get me all those thermos bottles fast. Can you and Seiko take 2 pistols and all the ammunition except 1 clip. You must defend the tunnel at the men inside. Slowly, the liquid air fills the thermos bottles. Could he possibly be making nitrogen bombs?
Probably.
That sounds like what he's doing right there.
So this is where it's interesting to see that the scientific part finally comes in.
Well, they got to work the story through too, Tim. I mean, they can't just. Carol, I'm going to need plenty of soft charcoal. You show Al how to make a fire. Righto.
Also, an interesting note: like in the '80s, they could have totally made something like this into a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine? Because like A-Team or MacGyver were always doing stuff like that.
Yep. Well, maybe those TV shows. That's where they got this. Maybe that's where they got this idea.
Most likely.
Later at the bend of the tunnel, Takan and Siko hear the slithering feet of the approaching renegades. They come, Siko. Me ready. Takan and Siko hold the tunnel for an hour, and then their ammunition begins to run low. At last, the thermos bottles are filled. Quick, the charcoal, Carol, and then get back. This is dangerous. Gingerly carrying the deadly bottles, Dean places them inside the entrance of the tunnel. This should do the trick. Can, Siko, get outside, quick. Run, everyone, get behind a rock, a big one. Down on the ground and plug your ears. Dean's party takes shelter behind a huge rock. Here's hoping I score a bullseye. Boom! Dean's bullet finds a thermos bottle, and with a terrific blast, they explode, sealing the tunnel forever. Well, look at that. Science did play a hand in the plot here.
There you go. It wasn't just the title. I stand corrected, sir.
Well, that's why you gotta wait through the story. That's why you gotta listen to the story and wait for it. I mean, we could take a month to fix the plane now. Funny what a little carbon and some liquid air can do. Can explain more of the science. This is kind of educational too, isn't it? There, Tim.
A little bit. As long as they turn and say, kids, don't make bombs out of nitrogen or carbon or whatever.
That stunt was used in the recent Spanish War. The danger is that it's apt to go off too soon and kill the chap who's using it. Oi, we are all safe. But back to Hollywood we go without gates. The end. So there we go with that one. So let's see now. Now I know we're already at an hour 40, so I may only be able to do just one more story. But I think we've still done a pretty good amount here, right?
Right.
So now we're gonna at least hit Phantom of the Fair. But before I do that, I'm gonna need to step after I get this thing set up. I'm going to need to. Amazing. So yeah, there's 2 of 7 right here. I'm gonna need to. So there's Phantom of the Fair right there. Here he is, Phantom of the Fair. So that's what he looks like. That's the Phantom of the Fair right there.
Yeah. They definitely did like an overhaul on his costume when Malibu started using.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go to the story and then before I get started reading though, as I said, I'm gonna need to step away from the computer for a moment. So Tim, if you want to like plug your book or talk about whatever, or even give your impressions of what we've read so far.
Okay.
Anything for Sunday yet? Okay. So Rick's asking.
Still working it out. I heard from her, but we're still working on the details. I'll keep you posted, Rick. Okay, so the first story I found ridiculous, but I think we all did. The scientific detective one was pretty good. I mean, he used exactly what his name was in the not so much the detecting part, but the scientific part. That was pretty good. Um, yeah, you can definitely tell that these comics were definitely for their time period, which is interesting. Like Robert said, you learn something. But I mean, in a modern sense, they come off a little too ridiculous. But that's because they're from 1939. Could you imagine if it was other comic books now going back to going the other way around? And how they would take how they would feel about the comic book characters now? Yeah, be freaking crazy, I guess. Yeah, I might kind of chill with you guys a little bit longer. I'm getting kind of tired myself. I had a long day today, Friday. So, and then I got to do the finishing touches on the campaign tomorrow, so you can all be ready. yeah, 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 yeah. You're right, Rick. Gay Superman would not go back then, unless they go, "Oh, it's happy Superman." Uh, wow, he's taking his sweet time, huh? A new super thrilling strip packed with exciting action, which takes place in a world fair. Yep. I don't know. I don't really. Should I pitch the book again for Melvin too?
I'm back.
Oh,
Sorry about that. Yeah, and I know I took a little long there, but had to had to take care of something. I did.
yeah.
Well, I'll just say it. I went to the restroom.
Okay.
So
Well, when Mother Nature calls, you gotta accept the charges.
right. And Rick says gay Superman would not go back then.
We were talking about. Could you imagine the superheroes they have going today, kind of going back into 1939?
Well, if you I don't know if you remember this, but Frederick Worthen actually accused Batman and Robin of being involved in a gay affair, which led
Yeah, yeah.
one of the things that
Well,
led to the
what happened was they tried to turn Batman into a father figure. So that's what the whole Robin thing kind of.
yeah. But anyways, I think we can probably. So here we go. The Phantom of the Fair by Paul Gustafson. A new super thrilling strip packed with exciting action, which takes place in a world fair. So, from the top from the top of one of the towering buildings of the World's Fair, the puff of a silenced rifle is seen. A bullet strikes the rope of a scaffold, and the painter on it plunges toward the ground. With the speed of lightning, a strangely dressed person dives off the roof of the building and grabs the falling painter in midair. While the people below gasp in amazement, the mysterious stranger grabs one of the scaffold leads and swings safely to a ledge below. Wow, look at some of this action here, huh? Wow, look at that, some of that action.
Yeah. They don't mess around. They got to it.
Yeah. Having safely set the painter down on the ledge, the stranger swings upward again as if carried by the wind. Like a springing panther, he lands in front of the attempted murderer and sends him sprawling on the roof. Are you all right, Andy? How did it happen? I'm okay, boss. There's something fishy going on around here. I can swear I heard a bullet whiz past me as that rope snapped. Look, that hole near the scaffold. It wasn't there before. That's a bullet hole. All right. The shot must have been fired from that building where that guy that saved you swung to. Come on, we're going up there and get to the bottom of this. What's the big idea? Say, who the devil are you anyway? That makes no difference. I want to know why you tried to kill that man on the scaffold. You get around and see a lot, don't you, bud? Now reach high and start walking backwards. Yeah, I shot that scaffold rope in two, but you'll never know why. You're gonna fall off this roof accidentally, just like that just like that guy on the scaffold did. Were you about to say something, Tim?
Yeah, I'm feeling really sleepy, dude. I'm sorry. I had a long day today.
I'm sorry. Yeah. You sure you can't at least stick around? I mean, I'll try to end this after the story. Then, if that's
All
okay.
right, yeah, that's fine. It's fine. I can stick around, but if I don't respond, it's probably because I fell asleep. I know while the story was going.
All right, because there's still the matter of scheduling you for next time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Feeling sleepy.
Well, I was trying to
Yeah.
spell sleepy, but I can't. Like my brain's like, you know what? It bails out halfway through the word. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Wake up with the get along gang. Everyone is okay. That help? That shock.
No, but
I actually
it
had
was
to
the music.
shock Rick once with something like that, but I did it with the rock music instead. All right, so
All right, continue.
suddenly the masked figure grabs the gun and destroys it with his powerful hands. Now, now tell me why you tried to kill that man, or I'll drop you. I'll be killed. Look out! You'll drop me. Yeah. I'll talk. I only take orders. It's my job. That guy squealed fast, didn't he? Hey, Tim?
Yes, he did.
All right. The special fair police join in the action.
He
Stand
became a
where you
snitch.
are before I shoot. Look, there's the rifle. Great guns. The barrels tied into knots. Help! Help! He's gonna drop me! Don't let him drop me! You came a little too soon. I'm sorry, I must leave and finish my work elsewhere. In a shower of bullets from the police, the mysterious figure grabs the rope and swings across the terrace to another building, carrying with him the attempted murderer. I, I tell you, he grabbed me in the air and saved me. He isn't the one that tried to have me killed. I don't believe in tall stories, so stop blabbering. So Tim, you think the kid's just blabbering?
Sounds like he's blabbering.
Um, he's probably one of those ex-trapeze artists that this gang uses to help them get away. Come on, I'll catch that murdering ape. While the police follow on the ground, the man in black moves quickly from building to building. High above the ground, suddenly he stops on one of the roofs, opens a trap door, and climbs onto one of the chandeliers below. Stand back, everybody. What's he going to do? Jump? Nah. He's gonna throw his partner down and make a getaway himself. Back all of you. I'll have to shoot. This kind of has a Batman-esque feel to it, doesn't it, Tim? In terms of how the cops and there's a little miscommunication between the hero and the cops. Tim?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. Don't shoot. It's the Phantom. What's going on here anyway, Russell? Get this guy back and put him under arrest. I've had enough of this. It's true. I tell you, I read about him in an old book I found while we were making the foundation to this building.
Well, to be fair to Rick's statement in the chat, it's not really palette swapping. His whole uniform is black.
Is this the Black Superman? No, that came later, Rick. Okay, I know. This is the Black Batman. Hmm. All right. Slowly, the man of mystery, recognized by the laborer as the Phantom, turns one of the bolts on the chandelier and jumps off to the floor several hundred feet below. And look at that. He's got him in a like a military or guerrilla press position there. See that? See that, Tim?
Was he gonna jump off the building and just slam him on the ground and break him to pieces?
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. As the crowd turns away in horror, the Phantom passes through the concrete floor with such speed that only a blur of his passing is seen by anyone. Wow, he actually went through the floor. As the crowd looks back to see the remains, they turn cold at the sight. There's nothing here. Where'd they go to? They've that just disappeared into nothing. I saw them land right here, and this floor as solid as a rock. What's that guy that spoke about this? Oh, where's that guy that spoke about this phantom? I'll believe anything after this. Oh boy, look at that! Now after seeing him supposedly, but I don't know if you remember when I was reading the intro to the Phantom earlier. But apparently, the Phantom has all kinds of trap doors throughout the fair there,
Yeah.
which makes illusions like this possible. Below the trap door in the floor of the building, the Phantom comes to the surface of an underground river and lifts his prey into a boat tied nearby. I'll do anything you say. Just let me go. Turn me over to the police. They're at least human, and I know what to expect. I'm quite human, and I'll turn you over to the police as soon as I get the information I want.
You might want to check this out after the reading.
Check what out?
Oh, there's a cover of Gravestone by Malibu. You can see how they changed the design of the character from what it was. It's pretty interesting.
So, anyways, these are ancient torture methods, hundreds of different ones. Now, I want to know your entire story, or I'll be compelled to use some of them. Nah, I'll talk!
What a little bitch.
Oko, the contractor's my boss. He hired me to cause a lot of accidents for Johnson so he'd fall down on his jobs. Then Oko would step in and finish them up and collect for the whole job, while Johnson couldn't collect a dime because he didn't fulfill his contracts. In other words, every job Johnson lost was a frame up. Now, where's Oko? That's right. You can see it by looking at the books, which jobs they were. He's waiting for me with his gang in his office.
Let me see if I can do that, Rick. Hold on. I'm gonna try to see if I can put that link in the chat. I think people would find this interesting.
You should be able to. I mean, if you can.
Oh no, I can't.
Uh,
It's too long.
oh, it's too long a link, and I would
Yeah,
more.
but if you could probably share it on screen after the story's over. I think it's interesting how they kind of made the change the character to fit the '90s.
Uh, anyway, I told you everything there is. I swear it. Just let me go, and I'll get out of town as fast as I can. Not so fast. First, I'm going to make you forget everything that happened from the time we first met. Then I'm going to take you back and see that you get the same as the rest of your lot. Now look into my eyes. While the Phantom casts a spell of amnesia over the thug, the police run through the old book found by the laborer. It's an old Icelandic. It's an old Icelandic, probably thousands of years old. Here, you can decipher it with this book I bought. I'll believe you. I'll believe you. And you say no one has seen this book but you? No, Johnson. I'm going to ask for my vacation beginning tomorrow. I've seen enough to make any sane man think he's crazy. Maybe I'll take one with you, Collins. I've lost every job I've had for the past 6 months, and I'm just about down to my last dime. Great Saint look. As Collins turns, he sees the shadow of the phantom on the building. Come on, I'm going to try to follow it. I've tailed those crooks. I've tailed those crooks all over the country, but I've never I've never run across anyone that could move so fast in all my life. What's the use? What's the use? We've lost him again. I'm going back to the office. You look for him if you want to. Meanwhile, the Phantom has reached the building of Oko, the contractor, and jumps toward the glass roof. So we're coming on the climax here, there, Tim.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. What, is there somebody else in the chat now?
No. No, it was a joke.
Uh,
Don't worry about it.
in a shower of breaking glass, the Phantom lands in front of Oko. Marco, who's this? Oh, Marco, who's this guy? I don't know, boss. I can't remember. He saw me shout that shoot that scaffold rope in two and made me tell everything about you. But I can't remember how or where or anything.
Too bad the other guy isn't called Polo. Marco, Polo, events on him.
Yeah, that would be actually. But kind of funny in Action Comics, there was a Marco Polo feature as part of Action Comics around this time as well. Believe it or
Oh,
not.
that actually is kind of funny.
Yeah. So you know all about my business, huh? Well, business has been very profitable, and I can make it worthwhile for you to forget about what Marco here said and keep your trap shut. Okay, cover him, boys. I see that you have a bad habit of using guns. Perhaps a little lesson in manners will do you some good. All right. So as I said, we've hit the climax. It looks like of the story. Before I'm through with you, you'll wish the police had you instead. As soon as I get this rod out, I'll show you a thing or two.
That's what he
And
said.
yeah, looks like Akko's having trouble in there. Good for him. Hey, look out! Collins the Phantom. Uh, this time I'm gonna this time I'm gonna find out all about you. Now stand there. Seeing his need no longer, um, the Phantom jumps up to the chandelier and swings out of the hole in the roof, leaving Collins standing dumbfounded at a sudden and lightning-like move. Dumbfounded.
He was found dumb.
Go ahead and say, why didn't you grab him? He was right under your nose. Why he was here, what I want to know, Collins, isn't that the guy the Phantom was carrying around before. All right, Akko. What's been going on here? Nothing. That guy in black jumped through the roof, started busting up my office, and tossing us around. For no good reason at all, I guess. Listen, Akko, that Phantom doesn't do things without reasons. How come he's here? The Phantom's been dragging him all over the fair after one of Johnson's scaffolds was shot down, and now I find him in your office. There's a lot you're gonna account for. You've got nothing on me, Copper. I never saw this guy before. It's a lie. I'm not gonna take all the blame. What's that old saying, Tim?
So what?
You know what that old saying comes to mind here?
If I'm going down, they're all going down with me.
Not the one I'm looking for.
Oh well, shoot. I don't know.
There's no
Business like show
honor.
business.
No, there's no honor.
Oh, there's no honor among thieves. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As Akko backs towards the wall,
God.
an arm crashes through and clamps around his neck. Oh, now that's got to be horrifying. All of a sudden, you got a black arm coming around you. Like
Jump
that.
scare in a comic book.
Huh?
It's a jump scare in a comic book. You know what a jump scare is, right?
Not quite.
That's where if you're watching a horror movie, something comes out out of nowhere and startles you.
Oh yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about then. The Phantom. Stay where you are, everybody. Now, Akko, I'm not.
That's pretty bloody for a 1939 comic book. Look, he's got blood drooling out his mouth.
Yeah, I guess when he clamped on the neck there, he kind of bit his tongue a little bit. Anyways, continue on here. Tighter and tighter the arm. Oh, okay. I'm not stepping in this time. He can do whatever he wants to with you. Oh, look at that. You know how many people would be. You know how many people.
He's like, F this, man. You're on your own.
Something like that happened today.
Yeah.
Talk about. In this case, though, they'd be upset because the police didn't do something when they should have. But people are arguing that police do too much now.
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah, you can't make them happy.
Yeah. Tighter and tighter, the arm of the Phantom closes around Akko's neck until the wall begins to crumble outward. Ugh! I'll talk. Only get me loose. Maybe I'm running into a stone wall, Johnson. But one of these days, I'm gonna catch up with that guy and find out what makes him tick. Him. Well, I guess you can't blame a man for trying anyway. Another adventure of the Phantom of the Fair will appear in next issue. All right. So I'm gonna just sit, since we're already past the 2-hour mark. I know you're kind of sleepy, so I'm just gonna breeze. I'm not even gonna read anymore. I'm just gonna breeze through the rest of this comic just so people can get a look at the artwork if they want to see the artwork and stuff like that. Inner Circle. I'm just gonna kind of pass through here. 23rd. This is one of the other features I was gonna. This is like a feature in Air Sub DX. So these two were the other features I was going to do.
That's actually pretty good artwork for 1939.
Yeah. GQ20 Mystery. All right. So we got through some good stories there. What did you think of that one?
Interesting. If Rick was ever on here, he could show if you could look it up.
Yeah, I'm going to just after I get through all this here. I just wanted to just breeze through that real quick.
Well, I mean, we could see what the difference between a modern take on that superhero you're reading and
yeah, I'm actually gonna. It looks like I just pulled it up right now here. So let me see. Let me see if I can pull that up. And actually, before I do that,
hey Robert,
I dipped out
and
and
came
came back.
back.
Yeah. So all right. So let me see if we can. I think this is the one you were.
Yeah,
So is that it?
yeah, because remember they renamed the character Gravestone, and as you can see, they tried to make the character more gritty for a 90s audience because that came out in 93, I believe.
Yeah.
92, 93.
Yeah. And can everybody see that, or shall I
Yeah,
try
I'm
to?
sure you probably could, but I mean, it would be interesting to kind of do like a reading of that and see what they took from the original character and to make this
Well, I
variation
might somewhere down the road, but it's going to be quite because I'm doing this very
year by
methodically.
year. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So
yeah.
yeah. So we might we might eventually, if I'm still alive at that point, you know.
We just got to the 90s.
We
Oh wait, I pooped
we
him.
got to the
Hold on,
90s, and
hold on.
my hair's all gone and my face all wrinkled and
Just gets up, wanders off while his pants fall down. Like I don't know what's going on.
yeah. But anyways, I know that as I noted, I know that we're past 2 hour mark already. So anyways, so before we close out, of course, I'm gonna go ahead and do this day in each history, and then we'll close things out. I can see it easily. Okay. Um. Anyways, um, and I guess Tim, you can DM the link to anybody who may want to have that copy or whatever.
I DM'd it to Rick. He was wanting to know.
All right, so without any further ado, why don't we go ahead and take a look back at this day in each history, as today being Friday, October 21st. Um, Friday, October 21st, 2022. Let's take a look back at this day in each history. History! Now you just gotta. This is from 2002, I believe. 82, 2002, 1997. And this is from, of course, 1992. Okay. 292, 2002. What time here? 82. I'm just, let's say 1997 and 1992. Okay. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in each history. History! First, I'm
Yeah.
going to head back 40 years ago today. Is on this date 40 years ago today, and I'll get to Robert's comment there in a sec. On this date, 40 years ago today, the 295th issue of Legion of Superheroes went on sale on this date back in 1992 for 60 cents. And was 32 pages, edited by Karen Berger. this book started out as Superboy, and then became Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes, and then eventually became Legion of Superheroes. So the story was the origin of the universe file, written by Paul Levitz, plotted and penciled by Keith Giffen. Dave Hunt did the inking, with lettering done by John Costanza, and Carl Gafford doing the coloring. The Legion of featured characters of the Legion of Superheroes, the guest stars, the Guardians of the Universe. The villain was Universal, and then there was a flashback appearance by the Legion of Superheroes. So on this date, back 40 years ago today, the 295th issue of Legion of Superheroes went on sale on this date. So before I continue, let's see what Robert had to say here. A thematic break might be good. Gravestone in the 1930s paired with the 1993 Gravestone. Well, we did cover it a little bit here, Robert, but
Yeah, it's interesting how people take old ideas and modernize them. But what did they take from the old idea, though? Which is what I'd like to know. I'll have to like read an issue myself.
yeah.
Because I cannot imagine that whole scene with that character breaking its arm through a wall and holding somebody against the wall like that in a modern comic book.
Yeah.
That was pretty
All right.
graphic for 1939.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny because I don't know if you guys heard, I don't know if you guys saw my report on it the other day, or if you guys heard about Alan Moore's recent comments on adults who like superhero comics. He basically
Right.
compared adults who like superhero comics to baby fascists. His exact quote was, "The infantilization of the infantilization borders on fascism," or something to that effect.
Honestly, he can kiss my grits. I got two middle fingers for that little punk.
Yeah, well, RJ was pointing out that the guy is bitter over the fact that that basically his progressive idea of a superhero was utterly and soundly rejected.
What was his idea? I've never heard such a
The
thing.
Watchmen.
Oh,
You know that Alan Moore was the guy who wrote The Watchmen, right?
yeah, right. And the movie was long and boring, and I think the comic book was kind of twisted.
Well, because I think the way RJ explained it to me was basically what upset what upset more about that is that fans took more kindly to the villain than they did the hero. The hero, who was basically a vegetarian, enviro nut, whatever, he was the hero, and then the guy who was representing conservative values was the villain. Yet people were more sympathetic to the villain than they were the hero, and
Who
that's
was
what.
the wait? Who was the villain again? Was it?
I don't remember who the villain was. I never read the book, the comic, or saw the
I
movie.
My take was that nobody was really the hero. Like the guy that let off the doomsday clock was in his mind doing good, and everybody else was trying to stop him.
Yeah.
And but like people like the comedian, he was kind of a twisted kind of guy, and there
Again,
was
I've never actually read the comic myself or watched the movie. I think RJ would know more about that
yeah.
than I would. Basically, based on what RJ told me, though, my impression was basically people just utterly and soundly rejected his idea of what a super. I guess he had more of he had more of a leftist, more progressive mindset, and he basically put that into his heroes. And people
Right.
rejected that and were more sympathetic to the villain, who was basically looked at as being more conservative. That's my general take on
Yeah.
how RJ explained it to me. So, anyways,
Because
oh, go ahead.
Because the character that you're talking about, the one that he was supposed to be his idea of a hero, killed millions because he could end nuclear war in his mind.
Yeah. So again, I don't know. As I said, I haven't read the comic myself or seen the movie. I don't know a whole lot about it. But anyways, moving on to the next piece of niche. Moving on to the next piece of niche history here. We move ahead to 1992, which is 30 years ago today. On this date in 1992, or 30 years ago today, um, let's see, Madhouse's the OVAs, Madhouse's Tokyo Babylon OVA, and Animate Films all-purpose cultural Cat Girl Nuku Nuku OVAs premiered on this date or released on this date, 1992. Back in 1992, Madhouse's Tokyo Babylon and Animate Films all-purpose cultural Cat Girl Nuku Nuku, which were both OVAs, were released on this date back in 1992, 30 years ago today.
Huh.
Moving ahead to 1997 now, 25 years ago today.
I was a sophomore, I believe, in '97.
Yeah. On this date in 1997, Annabelle's Wish, a direct-to-video animated Christmas film, was released on this date in 1997. For the Ralph Edwards Productions film, it was a direct-to-video, narrated by Randy Travis, so distributed by Hallmark Home Entertainment. So on this date in 1997, 25 years ago today, Annabelle's Wish was released direct-to-video. And last but not least, on this date in 2002, 20 years ago today, since I get it. On this date, back in 2002 here, let's see, from the Gaylord Entertainment Center in Nashville, Tennessee, WWE would host its Monday Night Raw event. And the main event of that show saw Kane and Rob Van Dam defeat Ric Flair and Triple H. You saw Big Show defeat Jamal, Rosie, and Rico in a 3-on-1 handicap match. Tommy Dreamer defeated Al Snow in a Singapore Cane match. Let's see. You also saw in a match in a WWE World Tag Team Title #1 contendership match, Bubba Ray and Spike Dudley.
Oh yeah, Booker T.
Yeah. Defeated Lance Storm and Regal. Booker T, Goldust, and Trish Stratus lost a six-person tag match to Chris Jericho, Christian, and Victoria. And in the opener of the show, saw Christopher Nowinski defeat Jeff Hardy. So that happened on this date in 2002. All right, so we went 2.5 hours, probably longer than I thought we'd go. But I thought, with the amount, with the page count and stuff like that, we would have been able to get through 4, maybe 5 features there, but we got through 3.
There was content.
Plus, I think one of the things too is we did more commentary too this time around than we normally do.
That's what I bring.
As usual. So, which is good because that's one of the whole points about my shows here is to get people talking, and get I liked a lot of things that you brought up, Tim. I liked a lot of the stuff that Robert brought up. He had some very interesting points he made. So that was pretty good. I like it when people are actively involved like this. This is what I hope every night is like. Is that people, as whether I'm reading news stories or I'm reading, going back and reading the old comics. I'm wanting this interaction and people to interact with each other. Because I think that's how we can connect.
Yeah.
Anyways, guess it's a good time to finish up. I thank everybody for being here.
Yeah.
Hope to see everybody back here on Monday. And Tim, I know you're tired, but if you can stick around for just a couple minutes just to
Yeah,
post
yeah. Yeah,
show
yeah.
stuff.
Oh,
Next Friday, of course, I'll be having RJ with me.
definitely, Robert.
We'll be
This
going
is the
over.
place to be.
Huh?
Oh,
What was that?
oh, he says he has to drop. Robert says I'll have to drop in more. So I said this
Yeah,
is the
I
place
hope
to
you
be.
do, Robert. Um. Anyways, um, RJ will be here with me next week. We'll be continuing our look through June of 1939. Next week, we'll be looking at books that went on sale from David McKay Publications. With at that time, they were the ones doing a lot of the reprints of like a lot of the King Feature Syndicate, which was like Popeye, Flash Gordon, Mandrake the Magician. Now, mind you, unfortunately, we can't find any of the actual copy of the comic, so it'll just be somebody work with that. Then we'll be going over to Famous Funnies number 60 from Eastern Color. We'll be reading content out of that book. So we'll be covering books that went on sale from David McKay Publications and Eastern Color next week with RJ joining me. So RJ Carter joining me from Critical Blast. So, anyways, guys, I thank everybody for being here. Hope to see everybody back here on Monday for when I do some news articles. Hope to see everybody back here next Friday as well. And till then, guys, I shall bid you adieu.
Keep it real,
Bye.
y'all. Keep it real.